Mike Tyson, when you and I spar together 5 rounds, it won't last that long. Um, I'm gonna be spun on stevia and weed together. It's a magical combination. It's better than methamphetamine, according to a meth cook who did it for the Hells Angels season. Um, it's magic. It made it so I could take the shot that Mama Pooh gave me and survive it. He caught me. I saw lightning. Uh, you know what? I almost went down, but I was against the fence on purpose, just in case something like that happened, and it held me up. And I weathered the storm, and then I broke his collarbone with the last punch of the 17 punch combination, uh, trying to get him to open up and me counter with the right hand. I created that. Okay? I have hands. I'm the 1991 Golden Glove champ at 201 pounds in Florida. Okay? I knocked the guy out. He was out for 5 minutes. Had to go to the hospital on a stretcher and was out of boxing for a year because he had taken too much damage to the head. Anyways, I can bang. And my name is Dan Quinn, Mike Tyson. Nice to meet you, homeboy. If we do, it's about time. I should have been famous a long time ago, Mike. I should have been famous for the play at Notre Dame where I catch the tailback diving for a touchdown on 4th and inches. In the box, even though I'm clearly wrapped up and it's me saving 6 points, the box with Jack Ham and the other commentators, they don't mention my fucking name. They mention everybody around me. And when I hit the sidelines, Lou Holtz is so fucking enraged that he can't help himself but fire me on the spot from the second team to the 4th team. Okay? That's when I quit football. I was like, there's no purpose in me staying because I'm going to have coaches killed with my criminal connects. I'm a 5-star now. Back then, I was friends with them. They loved me because I was a savage beast in football and fighting. And I won the bingo bells my freshman year at Notre Dame. Never boxed before, just street fights. And watching it against a guy who had fought and won the Golden Gloves, and his dad was a professional boxer. Yeah, I won, and it was pure talent. But I have oodles of speed, okay? Dominating speed where it disappears on you, okay? And it hits you. And so I was able to land jabs and lead right hands against Harry Gopal before the cold got me. And I hurt my hand and couldn't punch anymore because I couldn't use my left because Cal Worshman lied and said there were jet heaters around a cage, Mrs. Worshman. You're fine. I would love to play the violin on you, take you to 100 orgasms, make you forget Cal forever in your mind sexually. Anyways, Cal lied and said there were jet heaters around the cage with a tarp and it was a warm environment. And I got up there and there were none, but he knew that I had such stones that I wouldn't fucking walk away from a fight that was scheduled or I picked up at the last second. Harry Gopal, a hand specialist. I was outboxing him. I was winning that fight, and then I hurt my hand, and I said, "Fuck it, I'm not gonna take headshots, that might fuck me up, even though they don't faze me, uh, just because I'm Maitreya, I have it blasted on my chest. I'm proud of it. I'm a 5-star general, friends with them. I get 5-star prices. I help set precedent, okay, with good thoughts to the troops, like laying down our weapons and going to war against the rich instead of each other. No separation, no division. The Mexicans as one, the blacks as one, in cohesion with one another, okay, instead of fighting. And you leave your weapons at your house to protect it, and you don't take them in the streets anymore, okay? And if you have a problem with somebody, handle it in a cage, right? So, with that said, my number is 916-470-1994. That's 470-1994 in the 916. And what you do is call that number because I'm going to have pounds and pounds of marijuana at my disposal. And what I'm going to do is offer $600 pounds of the Icky Sticky 33% dream when you smoke it, marijuana, for only $600 a pound. I'm going to make $500, and I'm going to give $100 to Mike because he's going through it. He's my connect. I'm going to kick back money because I make it. And, that's how the world goes around. Dan Quinn, when he's a billionaire, will pay 95% of his profit back to the people that helped make it, okay, to spread it around so everybody has more than enough. Great deals on weed, on methamphetamine, if you're into that. I can get pure kilos for such a low price that it would shock you, and make tons of money selling it pure, okay, with no cut, guaranteed. People would love it, because they're not getting something that's going to fucking make them sick or is a waste of money. It's pure. It's cut. It's cooked. It's cut by the cooks, and it goes out, and that's how I get it. And with no cut, what would you pay for pure methamphetamine? 916-470-1994 with an answer, because all it takes is a phone call and a trip, and I'm plugged, guaranteed. So Mike, back to you. You could actually sell ounces of Dan Quinn's weed easily for $100 an ounce. I'm giving away for $70 delivered because I'm making lots of money on that. A high turnover rate, people having more to smoke, less burden on their pocket, more happiness, more joy. Weed is glee, and more people should have access to it. That's why I'm offering $70 ounces delivered, and you can't beat that, especially because it's top shelf THC that goes for $150 an ounce easily in a club, or maybe not so much anymore, but they don't deliver, and Dan Quinn will. 916-470-1944 for the time of your life, for a cheap price, guaranteed. And since I'm a future Nobel Prize winner for stevia, curing and turning water into a fuel that can run engines whose exhaust can be turned to what acts like the fountain of youth, I call it pure H2O. It'll become the most sought after drink on the planet. It will lead to me making billions of dollars every day when it catches on, because people don't want to drink toxic water. They don't want to get sick and die. They want health, perfection, guaranteed. That's what pure H2O does. It's going to be the most sought after drink on the planet. It's going to make over $1 billion a day easily in the future. It's going to lead to me having more money than God. And what I'm to do with that, according to my vision at Notre Dame, when I was enveloped in a golden halo of energy that brought me to my knees and showed me that I would one day be the richest man on the planet. And with that money, what I was to do was to end the slavery of women and the blacks and everybody that's a slave, guaranteed, using money to do it. And it's so simple. Offer women their own house, okay, their own money, and their own car, where they don't have to be owned by men who make the money, okay? Making billions of dollars a day, buying up houses, making them, guaranteed. Each woman gets her house, a car, and $100,000 when Dan Quinn is a billionaire daily from pure H2O, making bodies perfect around the world, guaranteed. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do for women. A house, a car, and $100,000 so you don't have to slave yourself to men, give the pussy when they don't deserve it. And nicotine is so gleeful when I'm really, really stoned. It adds fuel to the fire. It's wonderful. And I'm a smokeaholic. I do almost 3 packs a day of Clipper at only $2 and change a pack instead of spending 30. Save that money, pay it forward in cigarettes and food to those who don't have it on the streets to begin with. And once we have everybody in a house, okay, or a domicile that is workable because we have the resources to do it, and we should have the moral gumption, the moral fire to see it done, because that's what Jesus will want. That's where blowpipe comes in. There's a lot of wasted high going out into elements instead of into another body that it could placate the pain, pay it forward, save your money, less hits, more high. I guarantee a Dan Quinn will not only sell you an ounce of the bomb chronic 32% THC, okay, different flavors, different growers, for only $70 an ounce, delivered 916-470-1944. Gonna make a lot of money. And what I'm gonna do is pay it forward to those who don't have things on the streets like food, cigarettes, and drink. It's far too prevalent in a society that has so much that they have to give stuff away. Except that it doesn't end up in the poor's hands. That's a whole other story. Wow, okay, the things that we could do with enough money, enough good money, right, to those who have it and aren't good. Bill Gates, Donald Trump. I try to keep it in as long as I can to maximize the amount of weed that I'm getting each and every hit. This stuff is really, really good. I'm really, really stoned, and I'm feeling young again. And I'm going to go to Herb Akers. He's going to work out the kinks, and I'm going to sprint, and I'm going to fight. And it's like this. I could play strong safety in the NFL if everything coalesced with Herb Akers, and he brought my body back to how it was when I was in my 20s. Yeah, I did it in my 40s, and no one listened. And it's like this. This is the end times, ladies and gentlemen. The rich, they're forcing Donald Trump on us. A sex predator, an imbecile, someone who was so stupid that they put in a clause that he couldn't touch the property. All he could do was live off the profit and the interest. Because he was such a liability, they didn't want him fucking up and tanking like everything he's touched that's gone south. Lost money. Donald Trump is a failure business-wise, except for his daddy's property, and that's a fact. And he's a sex predator. He paid E. Jean Carroll $5 million because he molested her, and she won years later because the evidence was so strong that if she had come forward when she should have, Donald Trump would have been in jail and possibly prison for as a sex crime. And he's a PC, protective custody, even if he isn't president, because he's no good. He's on the bad list. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go and talk with Spider, or Heard overstepped his bounds when he had somebody's ear chopped off on the level 4 yard that it was in Sac County, where I shouldn't have been because I've never been in the pen. But the cops were trying to fuck me off, and they just led me to making really good friends with Snubbz and Little Nick, and with Spider, New West Familia. I heard he had made a call, cut one of his own ear off, right, and it was a bad call, and so he's not on the good list anymore. He's on the bad list. Does that mean he's not making money with the cartel? I'm going to tell him I want in, like he said I could 12 years ago in Sac County Jail, 8 West 200 Pod, a level 4 yard. He told me I could hook up with this guy anytime I wanted to because he's like me. Yeah, I'm Dan Quinn. Everybody does who is good. I'm a cool motherfucker. I'm funny as hell. I make people laugh. I show up at your house with Kentucky Fried Chicken Mule Deal, okay, in the best dope in town. How do you like me now? Yeah, so Durrell in the Oak Park Bloods has my leather bag, and I want to get it back, and I want to get a car so I can go up and visit where we ran across each other. And if I don't find them there, I'm gonna go to Oak Park and ask around where do I go to meet up with the Bloods because I'm friends with Snubbz and Little Nick and maybe even D-Ray too. To the point we were at least chess friends. He was schooling me. He's a master, and I can beat the computer. I'm an expert. I beat my dad when I was 12 years old, and he played in tournaments. I'm a genius. Anyhow, with that said, Mike Tyson, 10 pounds for potentially 25 minutes of battle with Dan Quinn. You're not going to last 2 rounds. Because what I'm going to do, I'm going to chop you down and take you down and pound you out. I'm a great wrestler. I was 24-1 my sophomore year in high school. I beat everybody in the El Cajon Invitational and the future state champ our senior year. This was my sophomore year. Our senior year, he won the state, and I beat him as a sophomore. I was a stud, and I gave wrestling up because of football. I didn't want to get hurt, and ruin my chances of stardom in the NFL because that's where I was headed, to Troy Palomu and to all the free safeties, strong safeties in the NFL. I was fast enough to play those positions, but at 6'4", 235, that was kind of out of position considering how vicious I hit. So they had me at outside linebacker. I was an inside linebacker to start in Notre Dame and was wrecking people. And then they moved me, and I thought I had failed, and I had tears in my eyes. And Robert Banks looked back and he said, "Hey, white boy, you didn't get fired. You got hired. You got promoted. We saw you running." And we were like, "Coach, he belongs to us. He's like a gazelle." And I was. I was the fastest on the team in a scrimmage. I'm gaining on Tim Brown as he's running for a touchdown. At 200 yards, I beat him. And I have jets. I have very, very fast hands to the point where I can land lead right hands at will and get away with it. And only somebody with superior hand speed could do that. Rick Fardell, Dave Huckabee. I challenge either one of you to a stand-up fight. I'll give you kicks because when you're kicking, what I'm going to be doing is zeroing in on your head with hand speed that's going to blind you. You're not going to see it coming, even though it's right in front of you. And I'm going to knock you both out. Rick, glide. You said you're going to come in at 250. You're going to slim down to be more fair. And you came in at 282 because you were scared for your life. Because I knocked you the fuck out the first time. And guaranteed, Herb Dean is Dana White's house nigger. He's his bitch. Stopping that fight when you were barely fucking landing anything, and when he hadn't done that previously, he knew that if we stood up last time, I told him I'm gonna wear Rick out and then I'm gonna knock him out like I did the first time. And he was so afraid of that happening, he stopped the fight. I got robbed. I should be super heavyweight champ at Gladiator Challenge, but I got fucking boned in the ass like I'm black, okay, like I'm a slave. So 916-470-1994. I need to ride up the hill to get pounds of weed, okay? And I don't have a car because the bank won't release the money to me, even though it's mine, because I called and canceled my debit card, uh, out of line, financially, a burden on me, in making moves, making money. They're costing me, and they don't give a fuck. They're waiting for a photo ID, and so I'm having one made. I'm gonna take it in and try to get my money and turn my back on Wells Fargo because they stole my money for over a week now. Okay, keep me from paying it forward, passing it on, giving great deals, teaching people how to play the violin. You know, two fingers in and up to the bottom of the G spot, and now those other fingers, instead of pinching nipple or grabbing ass or jacking off, are pressing down against those inside fingers, so the top and the bottom of the G spot at the same time is stimulated, and it gives women over 100 orgasms easily if you hit it and then quit it, hit it and then quit it. Because every time you touch fingertips, it gives her an orgasmic feeling, and so you don't want to wear her the fuck out. It would win a sexual a sexual Nobel Prize if they gave them. It's the epitome. It eclipses the Kama Sutra. Okay, Dan Quinn is once again upgraded. Society, and just people don't know about it. Okay, it's slowly catching on, and how wonderful would it be if somebody like Julie Roberts, famous, fine, let me play the violin, and video showing people how easy it is to do it, give them something to copy, and take it from there. Every woman having orgasmic pleasure to the point they're exhausted each and every night, okay, because they deserve it. Why not? It's possible. It just isn't famous yet, and it's slowly getting there. This is where Mike Tyson comes in by fighting Dan Quinn. Giving Dan Quinn access to a worldwide stage just by offering 10 pounds of weed to fight one of the greatest ever. Yeah, it's a move. It's a bold move, and I can make it happen. I'm too big, and I'm too strong, and I'm too fast for Mike Tyson. I'll beat him up in a cage fight. The only chance he would have against me is if we kept it pure boxing, okay, and he landed one, okay? Chances are it wouldn't faze me. I got sideswiped by a big black guy in McDonald's in West Sacramento. I didn't see it coming. He actually fractured my jaw. I saw stars, but I didn't slump. It didn't knock me out, and I didn't see it coming. Unheard of. But it's happened. Like in junior high school when Sean Nevitt, who is a millionaire now, sucker punched me at a dance. I didn't know who Sean was, except from baseball. He was a surfer, and I was a jock, and I guess we didn't get along, and somehow he took it out on me, and it didn't faze me, and it ended up blowing up his nose to the point they had to have a cauldron, a little bowl, underneath his nose because he was leaking all the way to the principal's office, okay? And I actually shared 50% of the trouble, even though I got sideswiped at a dance and just blew him the fuck up, okay, because that's what I do. I'll tell you what, Sean, are you still a punk? Straight up. Somebody who would sucker punch somebody, they're gutless. They're a punk in my book, okay? And you're a millionaire? I'll tell you what, at 916-470-1944, Sean Nevitt, order a couple pounds and pay up front, okay? Put a little money in Dan Quinn's pocket. Or what I'm going to do is find you and use my connections to ruin your fucking happiness, homeboy, okay? I'll shut off the dope around you, shut off it for people that are close to you, that'll hate your guts. So many things I can do is set you up, get you locked up, and then get at you with my connections in the criminal underworld because I'm a 5-star general. I'm friends with those who run the blacks and the Mexicans, and I don't really care for the whites too much, and they're so in power, spread out in different factions. It's not like one or two, it's many. So once again, to the Oak Park Bloods and Zillas, I would love to meet you and give you a £1/4 of marijuana for leading me to Daryl. I think his name is Daryl. I forget. But he's a colonel in the Bloods, and he is stepdad to several young Zillas, and counsels them, takes them under his wing and shit, because he's a fighter, a pro, a good one, a bad to the bone motherfucker. That's where we got along so well. And I was going to take him up the hill to meet Mike, who I get my weed from, just because, and sometimes people don't do that, but he was such a good motherfucker. I thought, why not? We're going to be making money together, hand over fist, at $2,500 a pound in Texas. Are you kidding me? At $100, I'm making a $2,400 profit off of 1 pound of weed. Add up, I'm in a U-Haul, drive there, distribute it. If I got caught, I could run things from the pen. All I would have to do is copy what the Mexicans do and learn secret codes. I'd have to get glasses. I'd have to scrunch up and, write like a monk. Or I could just do it in visits, face to face, like I'd like to do with Spider in Florence, Colorado, and tell him, yes, I'd like to take advantage of meeting his guy, who is in a cartel, and hooking up. I don't have to do that. I can drive down to Tijuana, Mexico, and go to Agua Caliente racetrack and tell them there that I want to talk with Hank Roan. I want to buy him a drink, and tell him that I'm impressed that he's such a stud, and Raul Julia actually didn't do him justice when he played him in Tigo Sunrise, because Hank is even better in real life, and made me play ping pong. I played Mark on the same table you guys played on. I made that white Siberian baby Bengal tiger purr like a fucking kitten. She loved me, and she's in the San Diego Zoo now. If she's still alive, would she remember me if I slowly, love my way into her inner circle with food? You never know. We can make videos about my life, and people will come, and they will pay, and they will watch, and they will listen as it slowly catches on that stevia does cure, and the violin for women, sexuality actually works and can take women that have been raped and can't come because their mental block to over 101 hour, 15-minute breaks, because she was exhausted. Her pelvis was coming out the bed to attack my face. That's how good the violin is. Okay? So, as my tray goes, I come bearing 2 gifts that are miracles. Okay? Stevia and the violin are the cure. Okay? One for the human body and one for sexuality for women. Okay? You wear them out with pleasure and then get yours and get out. It's a wonderful little situation, a cycle of pleasure for women to where every night they could have over 40, because you do 2, maybe 3 a minute. 3 might be pushing it, okay? But 2 a minute, 15 minutes, and she's worn out for pleasure. Come on now. Women around the world are going to love Dan Quinn because he discovered the violence, okay? And he's the only one that took it upon himself to broadcast it, right? To up women's pleasure. Okay, I'm not going to take credit for it. If anybody else knew about it, they kept it to themselves. They're selfish. Fuck them. They're out. Yeah, so the Zillas and the Bloods in Oak Park, there's a colonel who's a boxer, a badass, 62 years old. Durrell, I think is his first name. He's all red. He's all blood. And he has my leather bag, which has pictures of my son's family in it that are dear to me. I know he's taking care of it. He just has to know where to go. So 916-470-1994 is easy to remember. And I give you a quarter pound of weed just for helping make the connection.